Good day. My name is Marcia Taylor, and I'm with the University of the Virgin Islands, as well as the St. Croix Seashell Society. And today I'm going to be talking about how animals that live in seashells feed. Of all the activities that animals perform, perhaps the most important one for staying alive is the gathering of food. Food provides the fuel that animals use to carry out their day-to-day activities such as respiration, movement, growth, and reproduction. There are a wide range of strategies and techniques that animals use to feed. Today I will discuss 4 feeding mechanisms that shelled animals use, including suspension or filter feeding, grazing or browsing, deposit or sediment feeding, and predation. I'll also provide examples of some shelled animals that exhibit each of these mechanisms. While some animals actively hunt for their prey, there is a group of animals that are much more passive in nature. They are known as filter feeders or suspension feeders. This group of animals feeds by straining suspended food particles from water, typically by passing the water over a specialized filtering structure, like their gills. There is an extremely wide array of animals that use filter feeding as a means of getting food, such as fish, whales, crustacea, bivalves, sponges, jellyfish, worms, just to name a few. Filter feeders play a major role in the cycling of energy in marine ecosystems. They remove particles from the water and convert it into their own body tissue, and then it becomes available for other organisms. They are so efficient in their filtering abilities that the removal of some filter feeders through man's activities such as pollution or fishing can change the dynamics of an entire area. The bivalves are animals with 2 similar shell parts, like clams, oysters, mussels. Almost all of these animals are filter feeders. They filter the water through their gills, so they both breathe and get their food using their gills. Shown here is the sunrise talon, a very pretty one of our local bivalves. Some sand dollars are also filter feeders. Some can orient themselves as shown here and feed by filtering water that goes by. A major source of food underwater are the algae. Grazers scrape algae from surfaces like rocks, corals, and even larger plants. Clearing algae away is helpful in keeping the reef clean of excess algal growth. Many shelled animals have a radula, like a tongue, which is rough, like sandpaper, and is used to rasp away at food. The radula is made of a hard material called chitin, and some have other materials mixed in with it to make the radula even stronger. The radula have small teeth on it, which some say are made of the strongest known natural material on Earth. Limpets, shown here in the upper right, scrape hard surfaces in order to get their food. Here's a video showing the undersurface of a limpet. You can see the zipper-like structure. That's his radula. They scrape their tongue or radula over the rock surfaces, and the teeth actually leave marks on the rock. Sea urchins also scrape algae. You can see that they use something called an Aristotle's lantern, showed here in the upper right. And in this video, you can see at the bottom of this organism, these 5 teeth-like things coming together, scraping algae. It's a beak-like mouth, and it scrapes algae off rocks and plants and other things. This scraping can wear down these plates, these 5 plates, and then they're able to actually grow them back. This is a video of the queen conch, which is the official shell of the Virgin Islands. It lives in seagrass beds, and they are also grazers. You can see the stalked eyes of this organism, and in the middle, the long proboscis. It uses the proboscis to send down and to find algae, and once it does, it eats it. This is another type of grazer that we have in the Virgin Islands. The bottom sediment is composed of sand and detritus, which consists of bacteria and the remains of finely chopped algae and decaying fragments of animals. Animals which eat detritus are called detritivores. Detritus is a very rich food, and there are many types of marine animals which have adapted to feed upon it. These animals have special adaptations for dealing with the food contained within the bottom sediments. Each sand grain in the marine environment has a film of algae and bacteria growing on its surface. This red heart urchin shown here feeds on these films by swallowing sediments while it buries into the sand. Some shelled animals are less passive. They are predators. They seek out their prey. Here are some examples. The flamingo snail is shown here on the left. It's called flamingo tongue. They're predators that specialize on eating soft corals, and they're found almost exclusively on their preferred prey species, sea fans, sea whips, and other soft corals. They slowly crawl along the surface of their prey, eating the soft tissue. As shown here, you can see the line where this organism has been eating. On the right, you see a triton trumpet eating a sea star. A triton is a prey. It grabs the sea star or its prey with its muscular foot and uses its serrated radula to tear through the skin and release a paralyzing saliva. Then the triton feeds on this as slow as it wants. With smaller prey, the triton will swallow it whole, spitting out the unwanted parts. On the bottom right is a moon snail. Moon snails drill holes in other snails. They use their radula to drill in other snails, secrete an acid, and then extract the soft tissue. Cone snails are animals that largely live in tropical regions around coral reefs. Some feed on worms or other snails, and some feed on fish. They use their proboscis to secrete a powerful venom which paralyzes the prey. When the proboscis reaches the fish, it holds on with suction and then releases a venom into the fish, acting to paralyze it. Then it draws the fish into its mouth and swallows it whole. Here is a video clip that Dr. Cohen took of just that. See the cone snail with its proboscis inserting the venom and then drawing the fish into its mouth, eating it whole. This concludes my video. I hope you now have a better understanding of how some shelled animals feed. If you have any questions, please feel free to email at this address. Thank you for listening.